Today's dating landscape isn't what it used to be. A lot of men are frustrated, confused, misled, and exhausted trying to understand women. They've been fed lie after lie by society, lies wrapped in equality slogans, passive nice guy tactics, and emotionally neutered advice does more harm than good because women's biology doesn't care what feminism says. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I help good men like you decode modern women so you can find, attract, and keep your keeper. Welcome to Just the Tip. Okay, fellas, this video is a wake-up call. These 6 lies society tells men about dating are keeping you single. Number 5 applies to nice guys, and number 3 to a lot of young liberal men. So let's jump in. Lies society tells men today. Lie number 1, women don't want to be approached anymore. Society told men to back off entirely, like approaching is offensive simply by default. Well, that is actually not the whole truth. Women aren't against men talking to them, they're against being cornered or disrespected. Women want men to talk to them when they, women, are open to it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Anna, no way. She only wants to be approached by guys who are super good looking or obviously rich. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you want to be flirted with by a hot chick? Well, for most of you, the answer is probably a heck yeah. Well, women appreciate looks as well, but for most emotionally healthy, stable women, looks are not the most important quality they need in a mate, especially long term. Now, I hear you saying, okay, Anna, what about that fat wallet? How are you going to word salad your way out of this one? Well, fair enough. Women also do want a man who is financially safe, responsible, resourceful, financially dependable. What's women's primary need? Right, women need to feel safe, physically, emotionally, and yes, financially. Key point, most women do want a man who makes the same or more money than she does, or has a higher masculine status career than the average guy. Think fireman. Now, if you want to know if your career has masculine status, let me know what you do or did for a living if you're retired in the comments, and I will let you know where you land on the masculine status career scale, which I just made up right this minute. So it's not that modern women don't want to be approached, but they want you to be able to decode their subtle cues of interest or openness, such as eye contact or proximity or body language. Now, if you can't read those signals, unfortunately, you're not seen as bold and confident, you're seen as blind and clueless. So approaching a woman doesn't mean having balls of steel, but it does mean having some awareness. Women are constantly scanning for safety, again, emotionally, physically, socially. If you approach her without reading her energy or context, and she's not open to you or potentially anyone right now, well, she won't see confidence. She'll sense threat or desperation. Neither is attractive. However, when you approach with sensitivity and tact, well, she registers you as someone who understands nuance, not someone who lacks impulse control. That's what instantly earns respect and potential interest. Example, let's say you are in a cafe and she looks at you twice. She adjusts her hair and maybe stays in your orbit. That could be a sign of openness. Now, if you move to a new spot and she's still glancing at you or moves noticeably closer to you, that's an invitation. Women rarely initiate, but often subtly invite. These signals are meant for the man who is paying attention, not the guy overthinking the situation. Why don't women initiate? Well, unless she's naturally dominant, is that what you want? It's an unconscious test to see if you are confident enough to take a risk. However, if she's buried in her phone with her headphones in, arms crossed, angled away from you, well, that's not shyness. It's a sign saying closed for business. In this case, unless you're Chad or Tyrone, and even then, maybe not, pushing through that no-go signal makes you look disconnected from reality or rude, and women may see that as socially unaware or even unsafe. Truth. Women want to be approached by men who notice her signals of receptivity and respect when they indicate no. if he actually read the signs wrong. Line number two, women want emotional men who share everything. Oh my gosh, you've been told vulnerability equals nonstop emotional transparency and disclosure. But initial attraction isn't built on total emotional open borders. There's a big difference between being emotionally open when you're in masculine mode and emotionally messy little boy mode. She doesn't want to be your therapist or your mommy. She needs to be your romantic partner. That means she wants to access your heart, but not a front row seat to all your real or imagined fears and breakdowns. Key point: mother mode suppresses lover mode. Yes, women do value emotional connection, but not at a cost of stability. Vulnerability works when it's framed with masculine composure. If you're venting, spiraling, or unloading constantly, she doesn't feel closer. She feels burdened. Instinctively, she'll start to pull away or step into caretaker role, which kills attraction and shuts down her libido stat. Example: instead of saying, I feel lost and broken, say, I've been going through something tough, but I am taking steps to fix it. That shows emotional maturity while also reassuring her you've got it handled. Key point: when a woman trusts that you've got this, she feels safe, nurturing, and encouraging the feminine side of her that you love. Women fall for men who can feel deeply without falling apart. That's the man she trusts in a crisis. That's the man she sees as her rock, not her dependent. Truth: women want emotional, mature men who show they're handling life. Okay, this next lie society tells men trips up a lot of younger or liberal fellas. Number three, equality means doing everything 50-50. Ooh, men are told modern love means splitting everything 50-50. Bills, chores, decisions, checks, tables, restaurants, you know what I mean. However, most women actually don't want a perfectly even division. They want fairness, not necessarily sameness. Now, she still wants you to handle the manly lifting, like car issues or garbage or home repairs and anything involving creepy crawlies or dead animals or mysterious bumps in the night. However, if she's working full time and drowning in laundry and groceries and dinner duties, especially if you're living in an apartment with minimal man chores and you're parked on the couch every night, well, her stress is going to build, her libido is going to tank, and she's going to be one cranky lady. No es bueno. Smart women don't tally sex when she wasn't really into it, and smart men don't tally chores. They both pay attention to when the other is starting to feel underserviced or overwhelmed. Step up when needed and make sure the other person feels supported and appreciated. Key point: biologically, women have a lower threshold to stress than men do. And when she's stressed, her body goes into fight or flight, not flirty fun. True equality doesn't mean splitting everything down the middle, but giving mutual respect and support. Most women aren't looking to be taken care of in the traditional way, but they are paying attention to how you show up. Just a side note, in a lot of the Scandinavian countries, 50-50 check splitting at a restaurant is expected, but if you pick up the tab, you're definitely going to stand out in those countries. Let's go to an example. Let's say she's got a demanding job or aging parents to care for, or she's just juggling life like a circus act. If you never ask her how her day was and really listen, or offer to take something off her plate once in a while, she'll start to feel like she's not supported, and unconsciously she may pull away. She doesn't want a man to rescue her, but she does need a man who notices when she's carrying a heavy load for her and tries to lighten it, even simply by choosing her favorite restaurant for a date. mate. The truth is, most women don't want to be the man. Women want to feel safe enough to be the woman, knowing the man beside her sees her worth and supports her when her biology is working against her. Which brings us to lie number 4. Women want to lead in relationships. Heck no, a woman will take control when your indecision, passivity, or emotional inconsistency forces her to. And that switch to mother mode happens when she no longer sees you as a lover, but a child she has to take care of. When she slips into that role, her sexual energy drops off a cliff. She's no longer willingly submitting to a man. She's babysitting a boy, not because she enjoys it, but because the alternative is chaos. And no healthy woman thrives in emotional or logistical chaos. Remember, her stress tolerance is lower than yours. Leadership doesn't mean barking orders or being controlling. There's a huge difference between being domineering and being dominant. Attractive masculine dominance means setting direction and making decisions and handling pressure without crumbling. When you lead with confidence and clarity, you give her the gift of ease, and she can exhale, soften, and trust. Example, you're planning your first weekend away together. Instead of saying, "What do you want to do?" "I don't know, you pick." You say, "Well, you know what? Because you love nature, I found a great cabin for us. It's peaceful, private, and I know you're going to love the view. Pack for 2 nights." That kind of leadership speaks volumes because she feels considered and protected. And most importantly, for the recreational activities you're hoping for, she feels safe enough to be in her feminine. She doesn't want to wear the pants. She wants to feel safe enough to take yours off. Truth. Women lead when they don't trust a man to, which ties nicely with lie number 5. Women want a man who always say yes. No, a man who gives everything without question doesn't look generous. He looks lost and desperate, like he's trying to earn love instead of inspire desire. When you constantly accommodate, cancel your plans, or fold on your values to keep her happy, she doesn't feel more attracted. She starts wondering if you stand for anything at all, and can you stand up for her? Key point. If she can't tell what you believe in or where your boundaries are, her biology is compelled to test you to see who you really are. If it takes too long for you to show your values or your limits or that you have a backbone, she will assume you don't have any. And when a woman loses respect, attraction goes with it. Confidence is sexy. Compliance feels shady. Women respect emotional stability, not surrender. Gentle but firm boundaries show her you protect your sense of self. A man with boundaries signals that his time, his values, and his energy matter, and that makes her feel like she's stepping into something secure, not something she has to figure out and build from scratch. Example, let's say she treats you with disrespect, like canceling plans last minute without a valid reason and no apology, or pushing past the line you've drawn. A weak response might sound like, "It's okay, don't worry about it." A strong response might be, "I make time for people who respect mine. Let me know if you're serious next time." Not rude, not aggressive, but firm. We interrupt this program to bring you a funny. A good man is hard to find, but a hard man is good to find. Now back to the program, cheesy coach. Okay, when a man respects himself, she can trust his yes. Women need a man who can say no. She can't build a life with a man who always says yes. The truth is, women are drawn to men with clear, calm boundaries. Now, before I reveal number 6 and the truth about hypergamy, if you have found value in this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. And thank you if you already have. Number 6, lie. Emotionally honest means full exposure. Harsh truth. When a man becomes emotionally overly available or spills his whole life story by date number 3, the intrigue dies. That doesn't mean you need to play cold or aloof, but the mystery needs to be there. Openness has to be earned. If she doesn't feel like she's unlocked something in you, it feels like there was never a lock to begin with. If it seems like you open up that easily with everyone, she won't feel special. She'll devalue the whole experience and you. Women want to discover you, not to be handed a full psychological report up front. Mystery doesn't mean hiding, but it does mean pacing yourself. Example, instead of saying, I've had abandonment issues since I was 12 and I need constant reassurance, say, you know what, I have things in my past that shaped how I connect, but I've done a lot of the work. That reveals depth while leaving some mystery without putting all your raw wounds in her lap too soon. Because when you keep a little space between your soul and the spotlight, you don't become emotionally closed. You become compelling. That's what keeps her leaning in with curiosity, not backing away with caution. The truth is, women are attracted to emotional depth, not emotional oversharing. Society gave you lies, not tools. You were told to be softer, more agreeable, more emotionally available, all feminine traits. And yet, when you submit, you're left wondering why none of it works. Key point, biology doesn't care what society tries to tell you or sell you. The truth is, women's biology need masculine strength, depth, direction, and boundaries. They instinctively respond to a man who understands nuance, not one who blindly follows modern, inaccurate, feminist-approved advice. If you're still single, it's not because you are broken, but you could be misinformed and believing the lies society tells men about modern dating. So let me know in the comments which one or more of these lies you believed before today. You may also want to watch my video on hypergamy, which is coming up next. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I'm sending you so much truth and love. God bless.